However, we reacted to 24 dead animals. You were glad to know are extinct. Also, I'm not glad that anything's extinct. I wish everything was revived, by the way. That's just my opinion, though. You might not. Actually, no. Don't want smallpox to come back. Probably. And some diseases, some horrendous viruses.
By today's standards, it's always sad when you learn an animal no longer exists in the wild. Like we're losing something great in the environment because of it. Extinction is seen as a terrible end
Except if it's smallpox. That's beautiful. I don't know smallpox.
to any creature, and we should be working towards preserving that species as best we can. However, there sure were some that were glad went extinct long ago. From massive monsters to powerful predators, these are everything that haunts our dreams
Why is that thing acing in A10?
this day. Some were long gone before humans, and some of them
Check I am actually recording. Yeah.
might have shared hunting spaces. Get comfortable, get ready, and make sure you subscribe to the Forever Green channel. Because we've got a doozy of a video to show you today. 24
Now you should subscribe to this channel. But not theirs.
deadly animals
Actually, I don't know. I'm not your boss. You can subscribe to them if you want.
you will be glad to know are extinct. Number 24, Smilodon. Otherwise known as the saber-toothed cat, the Smilodon was an ambush predator known for its robust build and exceptionally long canine teeth. It was built with a larger jaw than modern cats, and teeth adapted well by nature for its exact style of precision killing. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty glad we only have to deal with mountain lions and bobcats, unless you live somewhere a bit wilder. The saber-toothed cat may have...
You guys have to imagine having to give with that. We have to give with Santi Paws. And if I go like 6 hours, I can see the 4 Scottish wildcats there. Yeah. Honestly, that's not that scary. Honestly, they aren't that. I wish they were around.
briefly lived with humans but likely died with humans, and the Ice Age finally putting the nail in the coffin. Number 23, Pentacopterus decorahensis.
This is the one I think.
You probably don't want to imagine a giant scorpion, much less one that's 5
Yes.
feet
Oh no. I do want to imagine it. The sea scorpions are Eurypterids. Correct me. Sorry, I said sea scorpions. Eurypterids.
long. In 2015, scientists discovered the Pentacopterus decorahensis in all its glory and used to swim around modern-day Iowa nearly 450 million years ago. Their successors would go on to be current-day ticks, spiders, and lobsters, but chances are they didn't last long
No, they're not its descendants. I assume it's us.
after Iowa decided to be, well, Iowa instead of a seabed. All we have to this day are fossils and drawings, though a replica was created for National Geographic's Strange Truth program. Sometimes seeing is believing, but it would be better to go
It's not
ahead
even the scariest of them. You could have.
and unsee some things. Number 22,
Oh.
hallucinogenia.
That might be dangerous. Okay, this is not dangerous. I'm not glad it's extinct. I want to have one as a pet. Yes, I would have an aquarium just to have that thing in my house.
14. If you've ever wondered
They
what it's
thought it was upside down for a while, didn't they?
like for a worm to have legs, then you're going to regret that thought pretty soon. This absolute nightmare fuel is like every worst possible thing
How is it nightmare fuel? Seriously. Have you not seen anything else from the Cambrian?
wrapped into one, because they might not be legs. They're probably tentacles, and they may or may not have had mouths on them.
Pairs of really stiff spines running along one side of the organism and long, flexible appendages on its other side.
Looking like something horrific out of a Dali painting, this noodly little guy has got it going on if it is being the worst thing that ever existed. I know this isn't
Actually, we don't know why this guy hates them so much.
what a ringworm looks like, but it would be so much worse if it were, don't you think? Number 21,
Oh, I'm fine with them.
Gigantopithecus.
That's just a massive orangutan.
Until about 1,000 years ago, you might have been able to spot Bigfoot in Asia, to
Until
what
about
we know as
1,000
modern
years
apes
ago. Okay, that is definitely not correct.
and
I don't think. No. No, Genghis Khan isn't right. I need to think of some empire. I don't think like the Shang dynasty, no, the Song dynasty, and like the Tang had a orang had a Gigantopithecus. No, it died out by 1,000 years ago, Yuckily. Actually, no.
Rank-
Oh no, Yuckily. Unyuckily. Actually, I say Yuckily. Maybe there were people in Southeast Asia. It died out by then. There were
orangutans.
lots of people in Southeast Asia.
These ancient ancestors were nearly 10 feet tall. Why are all old animals massive? They were probably
Meanwhile, like really old horses. No.
vegetarian, but we can't be sure. And vegetarian doesn't make an arm span of 12 feet any less terrifying. One big hug and you're snapped in half. Number 20, Harpagornis morai. Also known as Haast's eagle, the Harpagornis morai probably only went extinct about 500 years ago at the hands of early Polynesia peoples in southern New Zealand. They developed
What the? They'd got there before 1500. I don't know how it took them so long.
we now know as island gigantism due to a lack of competition and were a clear descendant of the terrifying raptor. At the time, they were known
Not to be that guy. No, they're not. Technically, they're Maniraptor. They're birds, which means they're not descendants of raptors. Probably. And yes, you count Archaeopteryx. But we ignore Archaeopteryx because it's not relevant.
best by locals for their ability to swoop down and pick up whole children once the Maori people had whittled down their food source. I'm sorry, but at that point, it's every person for themselves. Number 19, Adestus. We may not know this guy's exact form because of how old they are, but the Adestus, also known as a scissor-toothed shark or
Oh, it's this thing. It's not that bad. What's a really creepy? Have you not seen deep water creatures before?
bull shark, was a type of animal not to shed teeth, instead just grow more of them. This new growth would push the older teeth and gums forward,
I thought that was Helicoprion or something like that.
creating a potentially terrifying spiral tooth display. One option is like this, a spiral saw of old jagged teeth, though some others speculate whether their mouth looked like a monstrous pair of pinking shears instead. Have you ever looked into prehistoric creatures? Which one would you not want to face off with? Do you think we're better off without
Let me think. A Tyrannosaurid would be quite bad. Utah Raptor would be very bad. Basically, any big dromaeosaur or small tyrannosaur is a horrible thing. Allosaurus is quite bad. Small species of Allosaurus, not like I don't know, like not like a big species. Honestly, any medium-sized predator, like lion size. Oh, marsupial lion, the giant cheetah, the American cheetah. Actually, I think it's the right word. Yeah, giant American cheetah. That would not be fun to look at. Cave lion, American lion.
these beasts? Let us know down below. Number 18, Fabarimus patterson. If you think city rats are enormous, you'd hate to come across these little ratzillas. It's all fun and games until that rat is the size of a bull. They could grow as long
I like capybaras and I like guinea pigs. So why don't you just scale it up? I mean, capybaras are like super big guinea pigs and they look amazing. So why don't you just scale that up like 10 times the size? Isn't that perfect?
as 10 feet with a 5-foot tail. They might have been herbivorous, but they had foot-long incisors, and I really don't like those odds. They were known to live in the ancient Orinoco River Delta
Okay,
about
what have
8
you done
million
to my man?
years ago, so they're probably not going to come back anytime soon.
No.
Hopefully. Number 17, Titanoboa. And
Fuck.
you thought the Loch Ness Monster was terrible? If they weren't over 60 million years old, I might think these bad boys were the inspiration for those kinds of myths. That is, ignoring entirely that they were found in northeastern Colombia rather than Scotland. With a name like Titanoboa, you kind of already know what you're getting into. It's a titanic snake, which could grow as long as 42
No, is it actually? It's going to be going after turtles. Basically, if you climb up a tree, it gives up. Or just run onto dry land.
feet long
It's
and
really
weigh as
dry.
much as 2,500 pounds. You're not winning a fight with this bad boy no matter how good you are. They'd eat you
Yeah, you aren't fighting it. That's why. 2,500 pounds is very
whole as a midday snack if they even recognized you as food. Number 16, Meganeura.
Okay, this isn't deadly. I could wrestle it, probably. I mean, it could like gall my eyes out, but I'll be fine.
If you're in an area known for dragonflies, you'll know they're pretty big. But what if they were so big, you'd have to beat them off with a bat? They might have been harmless like their modern-day descendants, but that sure doesn't make it a whole lot better. Number 15, Dunkleosteus.
Oh, I know it's different, but now Dunkleosteus is a tree stump, everyone. See you to the tree stump! Obviously, when this video was made, I don't think it was.
If you didn't think fish needed armor, you certainly don't know much about prehistoric times. The Dunkleosteus not long had its armor, but had unique teeth and a beak.
But it was a tree stump. We all know it's a tree stump.
Like mouth, explicitly made for biting through the same kind of armor. They might have been a sort of cannibalistic species. With that kind of
No.
information, though, we can be sure.
No species can survive on cannibalism. It's just simple mathematics and physics and stuff.
Sure. They had jaws so efficient they could hinge them open and snap them back shut in just a matter of milliseconds. Number 14, Anomalocaris.
It's like a meter young. I think I could be safe from it. I could probably.
When you think of apex predators, do you think of killer whales, lions, or tigers? Do you think of something massive and powerful and in control of its environment? Well, the Anomalocaris may be the earliest example we have of this kind of behavior.
Oh, didn't they make it into some monster that doesn't do that? I can't remember.
And it's a shrimp. This hideous 6-foot-long creature
And
had
it's not a shrimp. It's a radiodont.
tentacles with teeth in them, and they were carnivores in their time. We're just lucky shrimp don't look like this anymore because I'm not sure a
It's
beef
not a shrimp. It's a radiodont. Can you please stop calling it shrimp for my sake?
strip would be the same knowing what's down there.
No, that's fine. I mean, I'll stay away from it, but it's fine.
Number 13, Titanochorus gaines. At a massive 1/2 meter length, the discovery of this 500-million-year-old species was beyond comprehension at the time. The Titanochorus were considered giant compared to even most of the animals living in the sea at the time, which were all barely larger than a pinky finger. This
It's
mind-bogglingly large critter
Right.
is to this day one of the largest animals ever found
That's
from the
already-
Cambrian period, complete with a tooth-lined mouth,
it's not.
spiny claws, and a body with flaps to better swim with. All of this adds up to an arthropod I'm very, very glad we don't have to deal with today. Number 12, Phorus racidae.
And not an entire family.
With a name like Terror Bird, you get exactly what you're expecting. But if that's not enough, 2 million years ago, they lived in the Americas and could grow to be something of 10 feet tall.
What have you done to the... I know this is completely underrated. Did the US use that flag? I'm just going to check it actually has the right amount of stripes. I have no idea what the right amount of red and white is, actually. It's 13 and 14, but... Anyways, why is the American flag like that? It should be 0 stuff. Nah, it should just be a Union... No, it should be a Native American flag. Also, I don't... Did they reach the United States? I didn't think they did. I thought they...
Their beaks were so
That's
strong
not
and
a big
sharp
deal.
that a blow from the head could kill other animals by cracking their skulls. These apex predators from the Cenozoic era went extinct around the time of the humans. Though they may have lasted in
I'm
a
pretty sure they died out before humans.
much smaller form until recently in Uruguay. They might have been flightless, but if you've ever seen the power of an ostrich, you'd know that
Nah, flight was bad to scary and flighted birds.
doesn't mean anything. Number
Yes,
11, Argioventus. To continue the theme of birds, this prehistoric
Because he should not show Argentavis.
vulture had a wingspan of 20 feet, was as tall as a human, and preyed on cattle.
That's not Argentavis.
We know that even current-day birds are just evolved dinosaurs, but this one gives off powerful pterodactyl energy. They're the largest flying
Oh, that hurts my soul. They're dinosaurs, not pterosaurs. Also, pterodactyl energy. Ah, that doesn't exist. Pterodactyl doesn't exist. It's not a pterosaur. Ah! I understand what you mean. They do eukaryotic like pterosaurs. They do eukaryotic like mid-sized, heavy like pteranodon pterosaurs. But they're not pterosaurs. They're birds.
birds ever to exist, which compared to the current largest flying birds of the albatross and the North American condor, they're more
I just
than
realised the 2 biggest birds ever. There's a big seabird. You expect like an albatross. Big like scavenger. You looks like a condor. took me this long to realize.
twice the size. This seabird spent most of its time swooping above
Oh no, you are talking about what I wasn't thinking about. You're talking about Argent Davis, aren't you?
the ocean for giant prey like squid and fish,
No, I'm getting confused. You're not talking about Argent Davis.
and probably ate its game both live and whole. At a breakneck speed of 10 meters per second for its flight
That
speed,
isn't what I was thinking about. I thought you were talking about Argent Davis.
we're lucky they've gone extinct. We may not know why, but we know we're lucky. Before we continue, if you've made it this far, go ahead and drop a
Unless you've got confused, but I'm pretty sure Argent Davis is.
like down below so we know you enjoyed the video. If you want more of our
But I didn't. It gave me a heart attack.
unique, engaging, and sometimes wild content, then subscribe to Forever Green while you're down there. And make sure you hit the notification bell while you're at it so you never miss a single upload. Number 10, Megalania.
Fat, yes.
Isn't it a bit crazy that almost all ancient civilizations have some variation of a dragon story? The Megalania may have something to do with that. This
May have something to do with that. Meanwhile, it being an Australia, just Australia, does that explain? No, the Welsh dragon. I know it's got a fancy name. But what does that explain the Welsh dragon? No, that it's probably fossils of dinosaurs, which explains.
This extinct species of giant monitor lizard inhabited Australia during the Pleistocene era, and it is the largest terrestrial lizard known to have existed. They vanished probably around 50,000 years ago, and probably
I mean, Titanoboa is in about the same range.
went extinct around the first emigration of indigenous settlers. If you think you've got some nasty relatives, just think of how the Komodo dragon must feel. Number
Have you not heard of what Komodo dragons do for a living?
9, Deinosuchus.
Oh, it's
I mean, all crocodiles are terrible, but not all of them have it in the name. These bad boys
it's
live
literally terrible. Crocodile. That's the translation. Dino means terrible. Sucus means crocodile.
lived up to the awful name. Dinosaurs of the time left fossils with Deinosuchus bites left in them. They
That-
regularly went
You said dinosaurs, then you said Deinosuchus. Be consistent.
toe-to-toe with our prehistoric predecessors. They grew up to as long as 30
I want to imagine it just beating up some random placental mammal.
35 feet long and were found in North America. Can you imagine one of these just walking through your yard? People freak out for less. We're just lucky they seem to have died out before the mass extinction events because I'm not sure a meteor would have been able to do the job.
To be fair, crocodiles fed quite well. There was an absolute monstrosity that survived from Hell Creek, but that's like half the size. So Deinosuchus would have not survived. The other thing did because it. I don't think it survived by much though. It died out quite soon after the end of the extinction. I'm pretty sure.
Number 8, Platybelodon.
Okay, how was that thing glad to be extinct?
During the Miocene epoch in Africa, Asia, and the Caucasus, you might have run across a Platybelodon.
Just the Caucasus. Not be that guy. I guess the Caucasus aren't in Asia. The Caucasus might be in Asia, but yeah, they just live in the Caucasus. Not the. You had to specifically say.
Which looks a lot like current-day elephants while still being distinct. They had a massive shovel of a lower jaw, used to pull up aquatic and semi-aquatic vegetation. They might have been herbivores, but
That image makes it look like it's saying hey yo.
current-day elephants can still be a hazard. Imagine a jaw like that, with the power behind it and the sharp incisors forming a scythe-like tool with it. No, no thank you. Number 7, Helicoprion.
Why does it have to have that color scheme? Okay, this one's.
If you're like any sane person out there, you've probably never had the thought, I wish sharks had a buzzsaw-shaped mouth. Like most other prehistoric fish out there,
Oh,
there
quick
aren't
thing, it's not a shark. I've just remembered. It's a dogfish. I forgot.
enough fossils
Is that dogfish? I'm sure it is.
left to get a good idea. The Helicoprion baffled scientists for centuries as a mystery. They found bits and pieces of a jaw and finally put together its horrific form, as if we didn't have nightmares already. The whirl of teeth was created as the fish produced more towards the back rather than shedding old ones, pushing them forward into this spiral of horror. All we know is they went extinct close to 225 million years ago, and good riddance. Number 6, Arthropleura.
Okay,
I think
fair
this
enough.
might haunt me at night. The Arthropleura is not precisely the kind of thing you'd want to see out in the woods when you're alone. They might be more similar
I'll run away. I can get out, catch it. I'll take a photo of it.
to modern millipedes. The horror in these guys is that they're not tiny. But do you want to know something horrifying? If they had to defend themselves, they could probably rear into an upright posture and look you straight in the eyes. And I personally never want to repeat those words. Number 5, Leviathan Melville. You probably know better, but if a name says anything, being named after the
It's
ancient sea leviathans should tell you everything you need to know about this beast. They are a relative to the modern sperm whales and could grow up to around 57 feet long, with a skull alone that was 10 feet. Not to mention its 40 teeth at 14.5.
I'm pretty sure it's got one. I think it's got the biggest mouth, like in-mouth teeth, if you know what I mean. It's not tusks. It's got the biggest non-tusks.
inches long, which are, if
I think, biggest like feeding teeth that you feed with your mouth in. Like normal teeth, not tusks, basically.
you're wondering, the longest teeth on any creature, extinct or not. They fed on
Technically not, but what I said, like mouth teeth, conventional teeth. Tusks are younger and they're technically teeth.
large prey at the surface of the water. Though its size helped, it was probably so large because of its competitor, the megalodon. They went extinct due to the mass cooling event, which also preserved many of their bones.
Which makes this animal the biggest tetrapod bite ever discovered.
Lucky for us, the ocean has one less horror out there. Number 4, Camarasaurus. Not to say there aren't giant squids out there, but the ones we have are nothing next to this one. They lived something of 460 million years ago and had a vast cone-like shell on top which aided them in hunting. Though at their size, 40 feet long and 2,000 pounds, they probably didn't have to
I just remembered that show.
compete very hard.
That's very good. Seven Dangerous, Most Dangerous Seasons, very good.
I wouldn't say this is the inspiration, but if they'd lived a little longer, I could see humans making a big deal about the deep-sea kraken after seeing one of these giant creatures.
It's not Kraken size, mate.
What's happening?
It's a huge squid. It's got light.
The stuff of legends, if there ever was. Number 3, Megapiranha. Chances are the prehistoric cousin is just what you'd expect, but more horrifying than you'd think. They were the size of boogie boards and easily about 3 feet long, with 2 rows of teeth.
This is something I don't know much about.
Where their current successors only have one, these monsters were known to even go after beasts like the Megalodon or Tyrannosaurus rex. With rising oceans, they were shuffled off to smaller water basins and couldn't sustain the large size, evolving down to make this change with survival. It would be nice if they were gone, but I'll take what I can get. Number 2,
Runs aren't even that bad.
Megalodon. These whale-chomping monsters were a force
Why
to
was it so much harder than Yivitan? Yivitan might, preface that word, might have hunted in groups. I'm not sure. I don't know why Megalodon's second and Yivitan's like
be
seventh.
reckoned with. However, we don't entirely know when the last megalodon died. It was probably around 3.6 million years ago
Of course,
after a
yeah.
global cooling event. The scale of these massive beasts is hard to put together. Their jaws could eat a complete grown man whole. To this day, the megalodon's 60-foot length makes them still to this day one of the most formidable carnivores to have ever
To this
existed.
day.
We still don't have an entire skeleton, but we know they probably would have stuck to warmer climates.
Vertebrates and the jewel.
The coastal towns of Florida and the Caribbean islands would probably not be as hospitable if they hadn't died out. Number 1, Arctodus.
The fat bear.
Not your average bear. The Arctodus was 50% larger than any recorded polar bears and probably would have needed to eat close to 30
I don't know how this is the dead. Actually, to be fair, it's relatively deadly. It's a bit big on my list, a bit slow.
5
I would have gone caveman.
pounds of meat per day to sustain their size. They were native to California until about 11,000 years ago, which is far too close to modern times if you ask me. They're one of the largest known mammalian carnivores to have ever existed, and probably went around the same time as the Megalodon with the global cooling event.
Megalodon didn't live 11,000 or 12,000 or 13,000 years ago, mate. They are not the same time. Definitely not.
Do you think they'd fit in among current day animals? Or are they all
Some of them might. Helicopteran probably would be fine.
just a bit too big? A few evolved and are
Just too big. Helicopteran is like average size. The big ankle. Oh, I forgot.
Just
A
the more
Normocaris is actually a bit small. It would be too.
petite version of their prehistoric ancestors. But not all. Let us know your thoughts down below.
Anyways, I'm just gonna get up so I can actually talk. Anyways, thanks. Oh, please subscribe if you want to see other content, or visit the channel page, which you can just go like, if you're watching this on desktop, click on there and then there. I won't show you because it'll probably have some other video playing. I can't be bothered to stop that. Anyways, you can visit the channel page that way. You can subscribe if you're on desktop. You just click there, but I should know what it is on phone. You should know how to subscribe in like a video, and also visit the channel page. I hope. If you don't, fair enough though. You can also, if you enjoy this video, you should like it. If you think other people enjoy it, you should share it. I'm just showing you what you can do to this video, not what you should do to this video. The video for the video we just reacted to, just to make it clear. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day, and bye bye.